high protein matcha tiramisu. Just a variation. No particular reason why not the regular tiramisu. Regular tiramisu, you'd be using like coffee and cocoa icing on the top. But for matcha tiramisu, obviously we're going to use like, we're going to drench these in the matcha, thick matcha, not that thick. I mean, you don't use that much matcha. And so just for starters, I want to show you like when I do the cocoa icing type matcha, it's cocoa type icing tiramisu. I use this kind of a grid. Look at the the size of these holes versus this one. It's very, very different. Okay, so I use this for the matcha ones. That's an adaptation I made. So anyways, um, I already have a mixture that's ready. So I'm gonna show you that mixture. I have it in the fridge right now. I've already set it aside for half an hour. Half an hour is just about right. For the mixture, I'll talk about later when more viewers pack in. But for now, I'm just gonna talk about what you need to do. So anyway, I'm gonna give this mixture a little bit of a stir because it's already starting to harden. So I'm gonna make it manageable in a sense. If I leave it too thick and hard, it's not gonna mash too well. So I'm just gonna give it a final stir. And it's also gonna improve how the mixture sets. So now that this mixture in place, I just set it aside. We're gonna work on the matcha. So for that, just to keep the matcha from clumping, um, put in the put in the fridge as well. And we're not gonna use a lot. We're gonna use very little in fact, because it can get very thick quite fast. So how much matcha do you actually need? You actually need about 1.5 teaspoon. But the thing about matcha is that it does not dissolve very easily. So in fact, even a heaping one like this, that's going to be quite sufficient. It's going to get it very green. I'm going to show you in a few moments. So that's just the reason why when people work with matcha, they use this brush. So I actually previously did try using a brush as well. Damn it! Where did that brush go to? Oh, here it is. Kind of looks like a makeup brush, doesn't it? Actually, it is a makeup brush. What the heck? Um, but the thing is, I'm going to show you a hack that I did to manage the matcha the last time. And would you take a look at that? I mean, it's like, you know, the greenness is like algae at the bottom of the. I mean, so you see, there's a lot of undissolved bits, right? So that's the problem. So that's what makes matcha a bit hard to work with. So what I typically do is, okay, I work with a container that is this size, and that also explains why I like to buy the Lego brand of Lady's Fingers, because it's separated into two packs inside, which is very convenient. One pack is perfect for this size container. I can do the top layer, the bottom layer, it's perfect, right? So in order to fill that, I need just like a 300 ml cup. I typically only fill about halfway. But one of the other kinks about matcha is that it doesn't soak so well into the lady's finger as coffee does. So I've been having that challenge recently. Today I'm hoping to do a little bit better on that one. So anyways, let me set this back up on here so you can see. This is the matcha hack that I've been talking about, right? So for those of you who came in, this is the tiramisu mixture, which is again solidifying real quick. So I need to work with this quite fast. I'm going to strain it out. So here's what I'm going to do. It's a lot of undissolved matcha back here. So I'm going to dissolve them in batches. Spoon them up back in here. And then just try and dissolve this bit. coffee is like so much easier to work with. But matcha is like, I mean, it's good for what it is, but it's also a real bitch to work with. So after I've done that, this is what I do. I pour the hot water over what's there. I try to dissolve whatever I can, which is not that much. And what I also like to do is that I like to pour that back in here a couple of times. Pour it over the bits. Doing this a couple of times does two things, alright? I mean, some of you may say I suck at working with matcha. I know, I suck at working in matcha. But let's just do what I'm more comfortable with. I mean, so I'm just trying to sort out the particles as best as I can. And this also helps to cool down the mixture. You don't want it to be too hot, right? If the mixture is too hot, it becomes kind of hard to work with when you're trying to dip these sticks into it. And at the same time, now that I have some residue on the inside of the cup, I'm going to do something that's going to grow some of you out. Because some of you are like, oh, you're using your hands. I eat most of this myself anyway, so who cares? Okay, fine. I just gave my hands a little bit of a wash, and what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to rub out these matcha that's on the inside of the cup so that it can dissolve. Because matcha, it clumps a lot, and that's what makes it very unmanageable. So with that, I have just smoothened out some of these stuck clumps. This is actually really the hardest part about making matcha tiramisu. Everything else is easy, to be honest. Everything else is easy. I'm gonna just dump in. Alright, that's most of it. That's most of it. It's cool. So all the hard to dissolve bits. I mean, some of you use the matcha brush for it, but I just can't be bothered because there's gonna be another pain in itself. I'll have to then wash the brush afterward, which is unnecessary work. So here I am. I find that this works effectively. The undissolved bits, I just put them back in the cup and I mash them out by finger, and it works quite well. So that's done. That's dissolving, dissolved. By the way, the finished result is going to be very surprising and impressive. Okay, so I still have some bits here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to pour this when it's hot back in here, and this does a couple of things, right? Ooh. It does a couple of things. It helps me to keep track of what is the amount. So I know that I can still afford to put like a bit more inside because it's nowhere near to the halfway mark. I need about 150 ml of water, and now it's coming flat. Alright, so it's coming to that right now. And now these are the undissolved bits. I'm going to scoop them up. Just now I tried to dump them into the cup, failed to do so. So instead I'm going to pick them out as best as I can. I'm going to soak this in. For those of you who just came in, this is the trickiest bit. If we have some matcha experts in the house, do drop some other suggestions, but I mean this is what works well for me. I'm going to sort out those pieces, matcha anyways. And then we can finally move on to the cake itself. And you know what's lovely about these lady fingers that's pre-made? in tiramisu. What's lovely about this is that when it's part of the cake, it's almost as though you made a layer by baking, which in actual fact you didn't, right? So I can't bake. I don't know how to bake. Alright, so with that, I have settled all the bits and pieces that I need to deal with. I'm just going to run this through one last time and we're going to get straight into it. So, here we go. Just some residue on the inside, fine. And over here, just some residue on the inside as well. And I think that is something that I can work with. I'm going to point the inverse side. And I see a little bit of residue here, which I can easily rub out. Like I said, I mean, your excuse if you think it's gross. Anyway, I'm eating this myself, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, we are all set. We've got a nice amount of matcha for making the, oh, and this is the mixture that I've done in advance. Again, it is solidifying. I'll talk about the ingredients in a bit for those of you who care to listen. But in the meantime, let's get the show on the road. So anyway, what I use for the mixture. For the mixture, I use low-fat Greek yogurt and mascarpone cheese. Ideally, you would want to use cottage cheese because cottage cheese is lower in fat. However, cottage cheese is also very hard to purchase. I live in Bangkok and not that many supermarkets in my area have cottage cheese. So, can you see that? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This one? No! No, 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 no. Multitasking, oh dear. Multitasking failed. I've just got a fully soaked piece that looks gross. Okay. Now this way, I think you can see it better. I just sabotage this one like big time. You're not supposed to let it in for too long, so just a short while will do, and then put it in. Okay. I think I got the right temperature this time. It's soaking in quite well. And then, pro tip, alright, you always find that one of the sides is more porous, such as this side. So we set the porous side facing up. And the reason for that is that the liquid can drain down better. Okay, this is kind of soaking a bit better than I expected. A bit too fast actually. Such that I might not have enough for the top layer. So anyway, at this juncture, make sure you're going to soak it up. If any of it needs more moisture, do so, because it makes it taste better. Now, with the mixture, by the way, I need to let you see this. So, we have one ugly piece, and the rest are okay. Okay, and at the bottom, you can see that these ones here, they're not so soaked, but that's fine, because when it's in the fridge, it'll sort itself out. So we're gonna cover the mixture. Oh yes, mascarpone cheese, low-fat Greek yogurt, and then protein powder. Put 10 scoops in. Okay, that's good. One more. And I use a spoon to flatten out the various insides, level it off, put some pressure on the edges to fill in the empty spots. There we go. And with that, we're ready for the second layer. At this point, a little bit concerned that we don't have enough matcha. Might have to make some extra, which is a pain. I wish I did more in the beginning. Some fine-tuning in the process. So the very first piece soaked way too much. And because I started on the other side, I'm going to use the opposite side this time. Yeah, we're definitely running on matcha. But, good news is, should be manageable. Because this time I pledged to make it way more soaked than the last time when I did it. Gonna drench it some more. And I'm not worried to drip it down on the mixture. Just sort itself out. Okay, yes, indeed. I need a little bit more. Let me just wash my hands, be right back. So technically you need about 9 grams of matcha for this. Just going to top it off slightly. And this extra bit should be easier to mix. Of course I could dilute the mixture, but it's not going to be so nice, right? So let's add a small amount. Alright, because you've seen me do it just now. You've already seen me do this just now, so I'm going to do it again. I've added some cool water to it, and that makes it a bit more manageable. I'm going to feel around for solid pieces inside, which I think I managed to isolate this time. Oh no, there's still quite a bit of bits inside, so with that, empty back in the cup, and then same thing, make sure I mash out these bits with my fingers so that the taste doesn't get too unevenly intense. For those who come in late, this tiramisu thing, this high protein tiramisu, is actually my post-workout recovery. I take it on an almost daily basis. I take it in the regular coffee cocoa version, and I also take it recently in the matcha version as well. Let's see, this blob of matcha is not dissolved. Let's get that dissolved. Alright, I think we're all set. Still some bits in there, but we'll work it through. that should be fine. Okay, so last 3 bits. We got some extra matcha on hand. I'm gonna soak it. Soak it well because the mid layer the top layer has a tendency to not get soaked enough. So today I'm paying special attention to that. I think this is just right. Water temperature will affect how fast it gets soaked. Yeah, it should be nice. Final piece. I'm practically trying to wipe out the remains in here. Okay, we have one dry piece, I reckon. Alright. That should be nice. The ones in the middle are kind of soaked, the one on the side here is a bit less, but let's see if I can get some remaining. Oh yeah, I think I can. There's like some undissolved bits here. I'm just trying to get this sorted out. Spoon this time, so it's hot. This is where every last bit of green tea counts. Because I don't want to go through the trouble of trying to work through that again. I think I can handle the rest with my hands. Yeah, it's lost the heat already. So with that, I'm going to target the pieces that, yeah, just that piece I'm a bit more concerned about. Alright, and with that, before applying, I'll give it another mix. In order to prevent your tiramisu that is not made with, that steamed egg whites, I mean this is using Greek yogurt and protein powder and mascarpone cheese. So the very first times when I did it, it collapsed. What I used is jelly mix or pudding mix that helped to firm up the mixture, and that's why when I first took it out of the fridge, you would have seen it was kind of thick. So for this size of a container, I typically buy like a 480 or 480 ml pack of yogurt and equal amount of mascarpone cheese, and that works out perfect for the size. So one can of yogurt and mascarpone cheese. It's basically good for 2 of these, container size. Emptying out the bowl vertically, scraping out every last bit of it. Why? I have the incentive to do so because there's protein in it. The Greek yogurt is low fat that I use, that alone has 33 grams of protein in one container. So half of that would be 16.5 grams of protein, and then coupled with the 10 scoops of protein that I put in, that's another nice 78 grams of protein or so. It's quite a lot of protein. I haven't even counted the content in the mascarpone cheese, which the brand that I use, they use skim milk, so it's a little bit healthier as well. So just kind of gonna put in whatever I can, and whatever that I cannot, I'm just gonna lick it off. So however I leave it now, just 45 minutes in the fridge. It's gonna be the same result. So don't waste. Is there any balance? Just take it. And I'll post a results video as a YouTube short, so stay tuned. In the meantime, this is done. This is done. Squeeze out the air. Okay. Put this in the fridge. So there goes the matcha, and there goes that. Flip the camera around. Check this out. See, that looks good, doesn't it? See? Yeah, it looks really nice. This should be better than my previous ones. Alright, so look out for my results video. I'm gonna post it as a YouTube short. Check it out. Subscribe. Bye for now.